Mic check, 1, 2. Second mic check, 2, 1. Amaas over 50s Masters T20 cricket competition 2024, match number 6 at the Foursquare Oval, bringing together veterans and the travelers. The travelers, having won the toss, have elected to field. Lester Millington and Ezra Marshall, the umpires, already in position. First ball from Ronnie Gittins to Ron Bates, pumped over the infield. And they come back for 2. So the fielder coming in from long off, bit of slow motion. But Bates, Dr. Jeffrey LaFond, the opening pair for the veterans. Can't get through the infield on the onside Bates, short delivery. Pulling it along the ground. Ball coming off the inner half of the bat, dragged down to short mid-wicket. Gittins' right arm, medium pace, generally an outswing bowler. Not saying that's the only thing he can do with the ball, but that's his major strength. The field already indicates that anyway. As he's in again, this one again into the onside. Good fielding there by the man moving around at the mid-wicket position. So he's got a slip. There's a backward point, deep cover. Cover proper, extra cover, and long off. So very strong contingent on the offside of the wicket. And Bates goes airborne. It's going to fall into a wide open space, and they will come back for a second run. Not fully in control with that shot. Bates looking to go over the top of the offside field. The ball coming off the bottom part of the bat, high in the air. But fortunately for him, the ball drops between the man running back from point and the sweeper coming off the boundary. So 2 more. To Bates, he goes to 4, the total to 4. This time he's getting it through that onside field, a chase for the man at mid-on, and the ball actually coming to a halt before the fielder reaches it, so 2 more to Ron Bates. So as I said, the offside field heavily stacked, but we've seen some 3 balls hit into the onside so far, which suggests that Gittins bowling a bit too straight for the field that he has set. Bates does what we know Bates can do. off the back foot, lifting it over the infield, wide of that sweeper at deep cover. And we have the first boundary of the innings of the final delivery of the first over. Is 10 without loss. All 10 runs going to Ron Bates. So new bowler. Randolph Maloney. LaFond has his first taste of the action. And immediately feeling ball onto bat. Short third, backward point, square cover, extra cover mid-off. That's the offside field. Right arm over the wicket, Maloney. And well onto the pads of LaFond, flicking it away, but straight to the man on the 45 at short fine leg. So we've got that man at short fine leg. There's also a deep mid-wicket. A man in at just forward of square. And a fielder 2/3 the way to the boundary at deep mid-on. And LaFond comes onto the front foot stylishly. Plays it away square. Still can't score. Total remains 10 without loss. All 10 runs to Ron Bates. Beats the batter, beats the keeper. Chase for the man at short third. They're going to come back for the second run. The return is bowled in along the ground. So they got 2 for that. LaFond getting one off the edge. So he gets off the mark. Special good afternoon to the crew from the Flash Drive Media who are looking after the streaming of this game on the World Wide Web. Maloney to LaFond, hauling it away out to the man in the deep on the onside. A long one. Commentary coming to you, compliments. Anything Cricket, let's talk. Produced by none other than Philip Hackett. Expect to be joined by another commentator sooner than later. Bates kept in check with that final delivery, so a good finish to the over by Maloney. And at the end of over number 2, the veterans invited to bat, 13 without loss. DJ Kurt in a groovy reggae mood on a sultry Sunday afternoon. So the action in the Amaas over 50s Masters T20 cricket continuing. Before this, we would have had some 5 matches. Gittins is again short. Bates is pulling wide of the man at mid-on. Ball traveling in the air for a while, but well clear of the fielder. Picking up another couple. Bates, so they have been scoring in mainly twos this pair. Bates up to 12, total 16. LaFawn has made the other 4 runs, no extras so far. This is the 3rd over. Ron Bates, Jeffrey LaFawn, Brian Johnson, Anthony Morris, Winston Warren, Carlton Cullimore. I'll continue after this. Just to break the sequence, Bates picks up a single. Winston Warren, Carlton Cullimore, Raymond Auguste, Orion Bostic, Ian Drakes, Pedro Agard, and Emerson Jordan making up the 11 for veterans. And the Travelers, Owen Birch, Wilbur Bruce, Adrian Brathwaite, Ronnie Gittins, Leon Lane, Cleveland Grant, Thomas Harris, Randolph Maloney, Wesley Straker, Gavin Beresford, and Hashem Springer. Pitched up looking for that big drive is LaFond. See the head going in the air. That one floated up by Gittins. Coming onto the front foot, pushing this one through the line, not having to get to the pitch, but showing a lot of faith in the surface, playing through the line, getting it wide of the short extra covering and getting a single too. Bates swings, Bates misses. Into the hand of the keeper. A dot at the end of over number 3, 18 for no loss. Maloney continues, pulled away down towards the long leg boundary. Again, another couple for the taking. So getting that one, angling down the leg side, Maloney and LaFawn going with the flow. He's coming into his wicket and working it to the right of the short fine leg fielder. LaFond is brilliantly taken by Adrian Oye Brathwaite at mid-on seems to have done some damage to one of the strings, whether it be a hamstring or whatever string. But the important thing is that he held on to an excellent grab, the ball away to his right, and moving swiftly across and grabbing in both hands. Lafon comes back, caught by Brathwaite, bowled Maloney for 7, and the veterans lose their first wicket off the first ball of the fourth over. It's 20 for 1. So Maloney with a wicket, tail up. Pedro Agard, the new batter. On target, Maloney, just back of a length on that off stump, 4-stump line, and pushing it away square is Agard. Special happy birthday to the birthday boy, Ronald Rat the Analyst Curtin, who is here with us. Chopped away behind point. Good movement there by that man at backward point, Ronnie Gittins. But the ball going to his left. And Bates calling Agard through for the single. So Agard off the mark. So happy birthday to Rat. We speak with him earlier. Does not remember which year he was born. He knows that today is the date, but he's got a problem with the year. Oh, it was yesterday. Even that he had a problem with. But we will talk to Rat sometime later this afternoon as we've seen the end of the over. And we've also seen the end of Ron Bates.
My doubt would be if it was ball or stuff. I saw the bell off. So if you had to catch it and hit the bell off. The bell was definitely off. You see, I had a close-up shot, right? So you can see the bell off.
Oh yeah, you saw it there.
I didn't know you did.
You know that I know into doing screen commentary. So like I like
don't do screen commentary, don't do we gotta do.
but you know I used to do screen commentary. I mean
What does it do?
having my exposure, huh?
I don't like that.
You all like it? It's okay if you got the cameras. If you got the cameras that can follow the ball and things like that. It's difficult in these kind of circumstances.
I only got 3 cameras.
Yeah. It's difficult. Yeah. So the replay show Ron Bates being bold. The off bail, just tipping the off bail as he swung across a delivery from Maloney. Bates gone for 13, 21 for 2. And into the gap immediately, Orion Bostic. The man they called for a number of years now, Grammock Zone. I never knew why. But from a youngster, it was around, I remember when I was a young man playing cricket, Grammock Zone was a little boy. Now we're two old men together. But that brings us to the end of over number 4. Kurt, work for your money. So 2 relatively new batters at the wicket. Still early days yet in the competition, which culminates on the 10th of February, Saturday, February 10th, with the grand final at the BNOC facility. Full toss, whipped away into the onside. Batters already settling for 1. Already looking at the standings at this early stage of the competition, it shows veterans and the Limers out front on 8 points each from 2 wins. Travelers on 4. And challengers and legends yet to get off the mark. Actually, these 2 teams will meet next Saturday at the Foursquare Oval right here at 2 p.m. Challengers and legends. So that will give, although tomorrow the Travelers have a game back at home at the Oil Company, taking on Limers. So 23 for 2. Agard on strike, punches this one into the offside, into that gap between the cover and that extra cover. Well, the square cover, there's a square cover, then there's a cover proper and an extra cover. So well fortified field on that offside and an arc starting at backward point right around to that straightish extra cover fielder. In the deep, we have a deep mid-off. There's a long on and a man at deep mid-wicket. Backward square, shortish mid-wicket. Agard nudging it into the outside. Immediately calling for the single. Trouble here. Trouble results in the dismissal of Pedro Agard, left stranded in the middle. He's gone by the run-out route. Well, everybody got their troubles, and the veterans pair of Bostic and Agard having some problems. Agard gone by the run-out route for one. Newman to the wicket. Brian Johnson, the captain, is 23 for 3. 4 overs and 4 balls gone. Zegard is having Johnson push a delivery back along the pitch to him. So far, Ron Bates bowled by Maloney for 13. Jeffrey Lafond caught Adrian Brathwaite, bowled Maloney for 7. Agar just run out for 1. The batsman dismissed. Gittins now completing his third over. 3 overs for 16 runs. Maloney 2 overs for 7 runs and 2 wickets. At the end of 5, veterans 23 for 3. So Maloney will continue. Finds the outside edge, but no one at slip. So the strike rotated immediately at the start of the 6th over. Of course, we've got to show appreciation and acknowledge the very important sponsors of the competition, which I shall endeavor to do during the course of this over as Johnson gets off the mark. Jalan's Creations, floral arrangements and fruit baskets. BJ's Auto Care. Ricky's Driving School. Bostic back on strike. And they're lifting this one over the offside field. They go for 1. They're going to come back comfortably for the second. 2 more to take it up to 27. 27 for 3. Hebe's Beauty and Spa, massage and beauty services. This includes a mobile service, which I suggest means that they will come to you if you don't get to them. Bostic is hitting this one sweetly, a lot straighter this time. Will again come back for a second run. The outfield not really running away, just in horse racing terms, you would say a good outfield, not fast. So 2 more to Bostic, 29 for 3. The veterans. On the leg stump, neat take by keeper Birch. Wide, though, is the signal. So we have the first extra coming in the 6th over. So good disciplined stuff by the Travelers. Keep the sundries down. Short, outside the off stump, chopped away. Another couple in the offing. MJA Car Services, car renting and sales services at Wildy. Barbados National Oil Company Limited, oil and gas company, transitioning to sustainable energy company at Woodburn in St. Philip. Struck on the pad, long on the front foot, and given. Lifting the finger, umpire Marshall, a delivery, pitching down just around that off stump. Ball stick onto the front foot, probably playing down the wrong line, playing across that delivery, and ball struck in the middle. Ball stick has to come back. Leg before wicket to Maloney. Maloney makes a third strike, so he's taken 3 of the wickets. Randolph, Maloney, Bostic gone for 9. Veterans 32 for 4. Winston Warren, the next man in. Maloney with those exceptional figures, 3 overs for 16 runs and 3 wickets. And Johnson is hitting this one hard, bursting through the hands of the bowler Gittins. Hit in the air, but having to reach up in his follow-through, Gittins. Would have been a special catch had he been able to hang on to that. So he gets 9 for effort, but Johnson stays at the wicket. So Warren immediately on strike. First time we are seeing a lefty at the wicket for the afternoon. Remember the Travelers winning the toss, opting to field. Getting in what will be his final over. Adjusting his field for the left-hander. He's got a slip in place. And Warren is hitting this one straight down the ground for 4. Good afternoon, Mr. Gittins, is what Warren is telling him. Sanchez in town. JD's Enterprises for household items. The Last Stop Bar and Eatery, a relaxed atmosphere for socializing and casual dining. They're at the top of the highway, just outside of the Gary Sobers roundabout. Premier World Cargo Inc. Don't base your cargo delivery on good luck. Base it on good logistics. Sandgate House, Fontebelle is where they can be found. Shuffling into his wicket. Typically stylish looking left-hander. Keep in Touch Incorporated for your packaging and automotive needs. Let's keep it in touch at Webster Industrial Park in Wilde. Buying the way wide of that man at long on. He comes around and tries some footwork. Arteta wouldn't want him at Arsenal. 4 runs the result. So announcing his intentions quite early, Winston Warren, with back-to-back 4s. Struck that one sweetly though. Pitched up in the arc and wide of the man at long on. Total into the 40s now, 41 for 4. Tickled away, some hesitation, but Johnson, the non-striker, whose call it was initially, making the call, getting the response from Warren. And Warren will keep the strike at the start of the 8th over, but after 7, veterans 42 for 4. So Maloney will climax what has so far been a quite successful stint with his 4th and final over, getting 4 overs for 26 runs, no maiden. So for the left-hander now, Maloney continuing over the wicket. Again, Warren is taking the long hand to it and thumping it away out into the cow corner region. Again into the arc, having that free swing. So I suspect the bowlers, having bowled at right-handed batters all innings up to this point, now having to make that adjustment to the lefty. And Warren taking full advantage, picks up his 3rd boundary. He goes up to 13, the total up to 46. Long on, cow corner in place. Outside the leg stump. Solitary appeal from the bowler. Looking to pull that one away behind square. So he's got his fielders in the deep, his covers long on, deep straight mid wicket and long off. Tucked away into the onside, the field fairly deep set on that leg side. Almost anything played into the onside, at least a single. So Johnson comes on strike. Warren already up to 14. So some adjustment being made to the field for the right-hander. Deep mid-wicket goes back towards the rope. Johnson is driving for 1. Down the leg side, wide. Terry's Food Truck, providing scrumptious meals at the Worthing Square at Savvy on the Bay in Bay Street. Scrumptious necessarily means sumptuous. I think another one to the extras, I predict. Yes, umpire turns, signals the leg by, brings up the 50 for the veterans. 50 of 49 deliveries. Oh, what a celebration. 4 fours struck in the inning so far. 3 off the bat of Winston Warren. So the end of that spell, impressive spell by Randolph Maloney. 3 for 23 from 4 overs. 8 overs done. Veterans 54-4. So new bowler in operation from the south. Thomas Harris replacing Gittins. So some spin for the first time. Right arm off spin, Thomas Harris. Thomas Harris, Joseph Harris, George Harris, Peter Harris. And to cap off our list of sponsors, last but definitely by no means least, Amaas Sporting Services, whom you can trust with planning your sporting events. spectators catch. Bump ball. Remember, the team is playing for a first prize of some $2,000. Second prize of $1,500. And the third place finishers will receive some $500.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
So second bowling change at this time at the northern end. Cleveland Grant. Slow left arm around to bowl the 10th over. Pushed into the outside. Quick single taken. Well, quick is relative when you're playing at over 50s level. So we've had the medium pace of Gittins and Maloney. Now spin from both ends. So Grant bowling left arm through and around to the left-handed Warren. Off the back foot, chopped away square, gets a single. So the innings slightly in some need of repair after those 4 wickets all went down. I can ask for the fall of wickets just to quickly show the first wicket going at 20, the second at 21, the third at 23, and the fourth at 32. So a partnership of some 23 runs so far for the 5th wicket. Lots of movement with the left hand, right hand combination at the wicket. Short pulled away, straight into the hands of the man at deep mid-wicket. He could not have done it more perfectly. Short delivery. He had a choice of exactly where he wanted to put that one. He wanted to test the catching ability of Thomas Harris. And now, suffering the consequences, Warren comes back, caught by Harris off Grant for 16. All the fives. 55 for 5.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
Your mic on or off?
So Morris, Anthony Morris, takes his place in the middle. Veterans at 55 for 5. Can be referred to as a spot of bother, but the two players in the middle quite capable of digging them out of this hole. So now we've come to the end of the 10th over. The Veterans 56 for 5. Those clouds that greeted us at the start drifted away. Lovely bright Sunday afternoon now. The Calvary Institute, one of the supporters of Anything Cricket Let's Talk and its various programs, quite an important announcement to be made in relation to the Calvary Institute. And that, for that reason, I'm joined by Philip Hackett, who will tell us a lot more.
Good afternoon to you, Wayne, and to all of our viewers and those who are even here at the ground who are also hearing the broadcast. The Calvary Institute, Wayne, would that be because you finally decided to sign up for one of the technology courses to bring yourself in line with the century?
No, that's an interesting suggestion. I take the hint. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, if you say it as a hint, I think I don't think I could have said it any more clearly. Yes, so yes, the Calvary Institute certainly supportive of the ventures of Flash Drive Media, and you said an announcement, but I think you're talking about an individual who is very much a part of the Calvary Institute, and a special occasion that is coming up in which he is involved. And of course, we're talking about the Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith, who has a big occasion coming up on Friday to which you are invited, Wayne. In fact, I want to take the opportunity to invite everyone to that occasion at the Calvary Moravian Church on Robert Street. No, it's not a church service. It is the book launching of what he describes as his first book. So that should tell you something, Wayne. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you that he has finally put another spike into his growing talents.
Well, it should also tell you that there are more to come. That's the first.
Well, the longest journey begins with the first step.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So the score going up by 1 short while ago, and now the ball played back to the bowler. As the over comes to an end, we'll hear more about Dr. Smith and his book after the DJ does his thing.
So DJ Kurt now in a dancing mood. As let's see what Grant has in store for us. Starts with the delivery wide outside the all stump and penalized by umpire Marshall. Adding to the extras. Let's now go up to 5. This delivery is outside the all stump, chopped away behind point by Johnson. Long chase for the fielder at backward point. And they have finished 2. The ball to be relayed from the deep backward point position, allowing for a 3rd run. So yes, Philip, you were telling us.
Oh yeah, so just issuing that invitation to the book launching at the Calvary Moravian Church on Robert Street, right next to Hill Supermarket. I'm sure you've shopped there then.
At the church or the supermarket?
Well, I would hope that you would have visited the church at some point and shopped at the supermarket.
Well, yeah, I have been there. I mean,
I know you've visited one of the sister churches, which is in your neck of the woods, as they say.
Well, yes, very much. That's my home church, basically. Not that I go to church, but it is close. It's the closest church to my home.
Well, they say confession is good for the soul, but you don't need to confess at this point in time.
But yes, I'm very familiar with the Calvary Moravian in Roebuck Street, though, Philip. I've had occasion to be there more than once.
So if you find yourself there, you and all those who I'm inviting, 6 o'clock on Friday coming. I think that's the 26th. And for the book launch, the name of the book is Faith in the Crisis. And this would have been coming out of the COVID crisis, the COVID pandemic and all that did for many people, not to good things in many cases. And that's basically the inspiration for the book, Faith in the Crisis.
Well, a very important juncture in the history of the world, not just here in Barbados. A lot has changed because of that particular crisis and continues to change also. So we be keenly looking forward to see what the Reverend Doctor has to offer. Also interesting that Dr. Smith has recently received an important appointment as one of, I'm not so sure what the actual term is, whether it be, but we'll continue with that.
Advisory,
The over is finished. It's 68 for 5. We've had some 12 overs, and Kurt has got to do his work. So as this pair continue to rebuild the veterans innings, going along at a relatively slow clip will be mainly because of the very tight stuff delivered by Thomas Harris in association with Grant. I think Harris caught there, Morris caught there on his heels somewhat. Probably may be guilty of listening, paying too much attention to you and I, Philip.
Well, yes, he's probably planning for that event on Friday.
Drifting in his thoughts. Back to the business at hand.
I'm impressed, though, by your awareness, Wayne. You don't really miss anything at all. Talking about the recent appointment, the Barbados government of
Dr. Smith. And I made particular note of it. Thought that was another feather in his cap. A man who has won a number of friends, and a number of people pay very close attention to him. because of his rather wise and uplifting utterings on various occasions.
Oh, yes, most definitely. No argument there at all.
Quick single. And Morris is going to head straight to the pavilion. Now we understand why he was so reluctant to go for those short singles early in the over. Coming through on this occasion and found short of his ground by a direct hit from the man coming out from in that short third man.
Good bit of fielding.
So at 70 for 6, the veterans' innings somewhat at the crossroads. 70 for 6. The two deliveries left in the 13th over. Ian Drake's the new batter. And immediately getting a single in the dark, one off the outside edge. So Harris has been very impressive with this spell of off spin. None of the batters have been able to really collar him. Here's Johnson trying to prove me wrong. Going for that big hit, but still managing it off the bottom of the bat, dragging it down to long on. Only a single off the final delivery of the 13th over. And it's 72 for the loss of 6 veterans. Harris, 3 overs for 8 runs, has set down some 12 dot balls out of the 18 he's bowled. So spin, spin, and more spin. The left arm orthodox of Cleveland Grant gives way to the right arm wrist of Wesley Straker. Good afternoon to Lakers NBA. Which we, in response to a message received on our chat within the live stream going out to the entire world. Stream going out compliments Flash Drive Media in association with Anything Cricket Let's Talk. Of course, the technicians involved today, Philip Hackett, our producer, and David Waterman, the chief technician. This one dropped away into the offside for one. So the veterans innings. At that stage of the innings where normally teams would look to accelerate, but because of the number of wickets that have gone down, having to consolidate, some hesitation. Eventually they get the single, but the return from the man there at short third, dragging keeper Birch a little away from the stumps. Drakes could have been in some problems with a more pinpoint return. 75 is the total. Competition continues tomorrow, the bank holiday being tomorrow. Striker with a wristy delivery. Drakes picks up a couple. 77 for 6 after 14. A rather mean spell by Harris up to this stage. Again, right on target. Johnson can do no more than to push it. Bat and pad close together. Good control of length and line here by Harris. As he is off the back foot is Johnson, chopping it away down towards the boundary at backward point. Again, the return relayed from the boundary. And the batsman coming through for two. 79 for 6 the total. Remember, the veterans invited to bat by the Travelers. As Johnson is going the aerial route, but is going to drop well short of the fielder at long on. And easy second on offer. The fielder not taking it cleanly, but way out in the deep. We call for a very strong arm to get that ball back up to the wicket. '81. So the veterans trying to push this total past the 100 mark. Go hard for the first run. This time, the fielder closing in on the ball a lot more urgently, coming off the boundary a lot more speedily, restricting the scoring to just the single. It's 82 for 6. A dot. Another dot to Harris. One taken off the final delivery. 83 for 6 the total. Harris 4 overs completed. An excellent spell though from him. So at the end of those 14 overs, it is 83 for 6 veterans. Those of you joining us for the first time, just to remind that the Travelers won the toss, invited the veterans to bat, and after 15 overs, veterans 83 for 6. Currently, Ian Drake's, the batter on strike, is on 5. Brian Johnson is there on 24. 24 of 33 deliveries. Wesley Straker, the bowler, punched down the ground. For 2. So we've had Ron Bates bowled by Maloney for 13. LaFawn caught by Bradford off Maloney for 7. Agard run out 1. Bostic leg before wicket to Maloney for 9. Warren caught Harris bowled Grant 16. And Morris run out for 3. The batters dismissed. Straker to Drake's high out towards long on. And the fielder running a bit too fast. A case of being too fast, running past the ball. And the ball through his hands, over his head, falling inside the boundary and only getting 2. So Drake's trying to be a bit proactive, looking to push the scoring on. Things have been rather quiet of late for the veterans. Straker is in outside the all stump, slashed away into the deep. Only a single though. Sweeper having to come off the boundary. Takes it all up to 88. 1 delivery left in the 16th over. Dot to finish the over. Johnson 24. Drake's 10. 16 overs gone. Veterans 88 for 6. So we have Cleveland Grant switched around to the southern end. Previously 2 overs, 11 runs, 1 wicket. Now he will bowl the 17th over. He's bowling to Drakes. Taking fresh guard. Settles and waits. Swinging his bat. Gets it somewhere in the opposite direction to which he intended. But importantly, getting a single. Turning the strike over. Grant to Johnson this time. Johnson is punching it hard. Well done in the covers there. Getting everything behind it. Obeying that cardinal rule. Second line of defense. This one is pitched right up. Johnson looking to chop it outside down to the vacant third man area. Doesn't make contact, so the dots continue to pile up. Again, Johnson defeated by the length, I suspect, of that delivery. Full of length, wide of the off stump. Not able to get back onto it. But he does get some bat onto this one, but just manages to almost squeeze it into the pitch. So this is some excellent stuff by Grant, continuing the good work by Harris earlier. This time Johnson goes the other route. He goes for the sweep. Gets it well behind backward square. No one at home in the area. Picks up a much needed boundary, a rare boundary of late. Takes the total into the 90s. Veterans 93 for 6. Well, we're heading into the death, as they call it. The last 3 overs. This one going high into a wide open space. As a matter of fact, allows for a second run to Drakes. But so much cricket being played across the global landscape, Philip. I myself am confused sometimes. There's the SA-20 going on in South Africa, the ILT-20 going on in the Emirates, the Youth World Cup happening in South Africa, Pakistan and New Zealand. Well, we didn't get to that yet.
And right here at the Foursquare Oval, the Amaas 50 over, in fact, T20 over 50. And that's a big error I made there, Wayne, 50 over. I don't know if these guys...
Well, it's just a transmission. It's over 50s.
Over 50, but there's a big difference between over 50s and 50 over.
Well, definitely.
I don't think these guys will want to play 50 overs.
Well, I'm not so sure. I've seen them do it.
You've seen them do it? Okay, well, I'm selling them short then. My apologies to these over 50s. But they're doing a good job. It's, I still believe there's a lot you can learn from watching these guys. They are not as athletic, but there's certainly nothing that has affected the ability to think the game and to read the game. That hasn't changed. If anything, it has improved because they're older and wiser.
Well,
it's just that they take longer to implement things.
The importance of experience being exemplified, because what they lack in mobility and athletic ability, they certainly make up with knowledge
Exactly.
and understanding. Lovely drive by Johnson straight down the ground. That is the example, Philip, of a long one. It took a long time to get to the fielder. The two batters took a long time to get to their respective ends.
But the execution was fine. Just took a while.
99 for 6, Philip.
One of our member of the crowd, he shouted when he were calling all the games being played around. He shouted West Indies and Australia. And
Right.
he thought that we had forgotten that one. We were just saving the best for last.
Change delivery from Straker. Chance for a catch. Chance accepted. Drake's resistance ended. Cutting the covers off Straker for 16. And now the 7th wicket going down. Still a run required for the 100 mark. 99 for 6 becomes 99 for 7. So Raymond O'Geese taking the place of Ian Drakes. Gets his first delivery, just drops it in front of him. The over comes to an end. That's over number 18 done. It remains 99 for 7. So 2 overs left. The penultimate over to be bowled by Cleveland Grant. But Philip, we were talking about experience. And you also mentioned the West Indies in Australia. And one of the criticisms of those responsible for selecting the West Indies team has been the lack of experience in the side. Some 7 debutants are taken on that trip. And a greenhorn team, more or less, it has been called. You had any problems with that selection, Philip?
Well, I believe that better could have been done. I don't have a problem with trying to expose or trying to introduce, I would say. I don't like the word expose because sometimes basically that's just what you do. You expose people's weaknesses.
Well, Philip, we should mention that's the 100 up for the veterans. 100, and then Johnson is out. The irony about that, Philip, is that one of the better balls he has struck in his whole innings, one that he has timed better than all the other shots he has played, but he's managed to find that man at long on who did well to take a good catch in the deep. So Johnson's long vigil has come to an end. 31 from 42 balls. He was at the wicket for over an hour. And now the 8th wicket gone, 101 for 8. Caught by Harris off Grant. 1-4, 42 balls, 62 minutes. Brian Johnson replaced now by Emerson Jordan. So yes, Philip, you can expand on the point you were making.
Which was?
You had no problem with trying stuff, but you had a different way. You would have gone about it differently. I think that's what you were suggesting.
Yeah, there's another issue too that age tends to show up sometimes, and I think you just saw an example of it. I wouldn't say what it is. If you missed it, well, you missed it.
Also a consequence of age.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with trying to introduce new players from time to time, but when you expose too many young players without the proper preparation, that word again, you know I'm all about preparation, and then you don't even have the, let's say, the mentorship within the team to make life a little bit easier for them. I really don't see the point.
Another wicket gone. Another wicket to Grant. Soft dismissal, an overused term, but I don't think there's anything more appropriate to describe the departure of Raymond Orgis. Nice juicy full toss. Had any of many options and chose to hit it straight back limply into the hands of the bowler.
I tend not to use that description either because I think it's a couple really for commentators generally speaking. But I give myself permission to use it in this case because that was so. What's the term again?
About this limp.
Limp, yes. That was so limp that even although I watched the guy hit the ball back to the bowler, I couldn't believe that it was a wicket. It was just as soft as a dismissal as you could get.
Like catching practice.
Yes.
You know? But you know, at this age, well, okay, I better not go there. This is family radio. Kurt? I think a lip is associated with men this age. Well, the end of the veterans innings somewhat in sight, either by dismissal or the expiration.
You're closer to the scoreboard. What's your score?
102 for 9 it is. 18 overs, 1 ball left in the 19th over. Grant is striking the last man on the pad.
Leg before.
Plumb in front. The innings wrapped up in 19 overs. All out for 102. The veterans. Jordan left not out on 1. And there's also a 1 associated with the last man. He get 1 ball.
And it wasn't that soft. A proper wicket. But yes, just to make that point quickly before we go back to Kirk, I'm going to make it very quickly because I think I've talked wrong enough. Yeah, I think better could have been that there was a player to my mind, and no discredit to the young wicketkeeper, Tevin Imlach. But I think in the context of that tour, it was a wasted man. You've got 2 test matches to play. You've got your keeper who you know you're going to play the regular keeper, De Silva. And I believe that McCassie is good enough that if there were an injury to De Silva, which is the only way I can see him being replaced in a short 2-test tour, that he could probably do the job. So you're taking a young man out there, you know, when you could have used that position to have a more experienced bowler like a Shannon Gabriel, for example, a more experienced spinner like a Rustin Chase, or a more experienced batsman like the former vice captain Blackwood. I'm just using those as examples, but feel free to choose. It's a concept I'm talking about, the idea that a more experienced player could have been in that position who would have given the selectors, I would say, more meaningful options, and also someone who could be a bit of a mentor to the other players. I mean, I don't think, although these guys, the names I've called, have not set the world on fire in recent times, I think they must have learned something from their experience playing Test cricket, and therefore I believe they should have something to offer. So that's my main concern. Why did you take the extra keeper in a situation where you've already got so many inexperienced players?
Well, that experience we can continue to expound on when we come back. But in the meantime, just to wrap up the first innings of this match, today is the sixth match in the Amaas over 50s Masters T20 competition 2024. Veterans all out for 102. A top score of 31 from Brian Johnson. Main support coming from Winston Warren, 16. Ian Drakes also made 16. Ron Bates, 13 at the top of the order of the main scorers. And then we had a return of 4 for 19 to the left-arm spinner Cleveland Grant from his 4 overs. Randolph Maloney with the new ball picked up 3 for 23. Ronnie Gittins, none for 26. Thomas Harris, a measly spell, 4 overs for 16 runs, no wicket. And Wesley Straker picking up 1 wicket for 16 from his 3 overs. Some 5 extras, 2 leg bys and 3 wides. And in the end, all out in 19 overs after being invited to bat. Veterans 102.
Well, before we go to the music, and you're going to get your fill of that during the innings break, we invite those who are listening, if you can maybe just drop in the chat your thoughts on the test situation, because the second test coming up in a couple of days. Can West Indies come back to level the series? And of course, those who are following this Masters contest as well, feel free to make your predictions. Will this score of 108, 102 be chased down? So lots to chat about, and here's hoping that we can see some comments from those who are watching.
to me. Big red dear love, I've done you wrong, now I must set you free. No longer can I live with this hurt and this sin. I just couldn't tell you that guy was just a friend. Moody river, more deadly than the latest night. Moody river, your muddy water took my baby's mind. I looked into the muddy water and what could I see? I saw a lonely, lonely face just looking back at me. Tears in his eyes and breath on his lips, and the glove of his lost love at his fingertips. Moody river, more deadly than the latest night. Moody river, your muddy water took my baby's life. If I were a tower of strength, I'd walk away. I'd look in your eyes, and here's what I'd say. I don't want you, I don't need you, I don't love you anymore. And I'd walk out the door. You'd be down on your knees, you'd be calling to me. But a tower of strength is a something I'll never be. If I were a tower of strength, I'd watch you cry. I'd laugh at your tears and tell you goodbye. I don't want you, I don't need you, I don't love you anymore. And I'd walk out. You'd be down on your knees, you'd be calling to me. But a tower of strength is a something I'll never be. I don't want you, I don't need you, I don't love you anymore. And I walk out the door. You'd be down on your knees, you'd be calling to me. But a tower of strength is a something I'll never be. Being here with you tonight, I'm a queen on a throne. Every time I hold you tight, my palace is my home. Yeah, but will my king love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's cantina. Music would play and fill the world. Blacker the night were the eyes of the winter. Wicked and evil one cast me the spell. My love was deep for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dancing and daring, the drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger, I judged his right for the love of this maiden, down with his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. Handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, but I found the deed I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance and that was to run. Out through the back door of roses I ran, out where the horses were tied. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run up on its back and away I did ride. Just as fast as I could from the West Texas town of El Paso out to the badlands of New Mexico.
Yeah, we talking about making it way back into the 80. So far back, I wonder if it was the 77.
Maybe 100 and you were around 40 the other day, but enjoying COVID.
2020, like 20, yeah, so it's something like 80. 18. Well, it's not 80.
And 1980 and 40.
And 40. Right. So it's like 80. Around that time.
85.
85 was the founding year.
85 and I know how much 85 and
That would make you 138 years old.
around 40. Oh, just supposed to be around 40 the other day.
Right, so it probably
Left
don't.
with that.
Yeah, me ain't going there. I could research that, you know. So back to Sweet Cricket at the Foursquare Oval. The resumption with the Travelers in pursuit of a victory target of 103. Starting with Thomas Harris and Wesley Straker, the opening batters. The veterans will start their bowling with Ian Drakes at the northern or pavilion end. And he starts with a delivery right on target, bringing Harris onto the front foot. Defensively, there is no run. During the first part of this innings, we are going to be joined by Mr. Ian Brown, the president of the Pickwick Club, of course, the Foursquare Oval, where we are located, is the home of the famous Pickwick Club, who would have spent over 100 years at their original location at Kensington Oval, having relocated to this Foursquare Oval. Ian, that question I may be able to ask you, do you recall when the Pickwick Club made that move? It was sometime around 2007 when Kensington had to be refurbished for the then a World Cup here in the Caribbean. So Ian having to 2009, of course, you didn't come immediately here after moving from Kensington. I'm sure you did play a season or so at the University of the West Indies at KFL, and then at the Barclays ground in Wildy. And then 2009, you made your home here at the Foursquare Oval. And I think a very generous gift from your chief benefactor, none other than Sir David Seal, the owner of the property, the Foursquare Rum Factory to our left, and the Hope Field plantation as we look out to the south of us. Good afternoon and welcome, Ian Brown, President of the Pickwick Club.
Good afternoon, Wayne. Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. And yes, welcome here to the Pickwick Oval. And like Wayne said, it's really a privilege to be here. And I believe I can start by saying where he left off. A big thank you to Sir David and his team at Royal Seal and Company for giving us this ground. And we are really grateful for the opportunity to be here and to inherit this lovely facility.
Well, of course, it has also a ground, even in its short history, has hosted regional first-class cricket and list A cricket, which is a credit to the club and to the facility generally.
Yes, that's true, and we endeavor to improve on the facility. As a matter of fact, it may not be too early to say tomorrow we intend to have a cleanup campaign here, because going back into the elite competition, we decided that yes, we are going back and we need to show the others what we have here at Foursquare.
Well, you talk about going back to the elite, and I think that needs to be explained to a wider audience. The Pickwick Club always, well, first of all, the second oldest club in the island, formed all the way back somewhere around the 1880s. I think the only club older than Pickwick is the Wanderers Club. But the Pickwick Club, one of the foremost cricketing institutions on the island for as long as it has existed. But since the introduction of the promotion and relegation system within the domestic cricket competition, Pickwick having fallen from its high pinnacle at the highest level and into the second tier of local domestic competition for a couple of years, but having now earned promotion back to the highest level, the elite level, it must be somewhat of a relief to you, Ian, yes, and the club.
Yes, very much so. As a matter of fact, during the last couple of years, and certainly last year, one of the commitments we had made to our Seal and Company was to get us back into the elite, because that is something that they were asking of us, and we had given the commitment and the promise that we will try to get back there as early as this year, and I'm happy to say that we have fulfilled that part of the bargain.
So what specific plans would you have put into place, essentially, with that target in mind? Any specific plans that you would have put into place at the beginning of the last season?
I would say that we would have to say thanks to our coach, Corey Yearwood, and we have a good squad here at Pickwick, and I saw a commitment from the youngsters, and they did say and they had promised that with you, Price, as they like to call me, we will deliver on our promise, and I saw the commitment from them. They regularly attending practice, and there was like a family unit here, and it reflected in the performances throughout the season.
How important, though, is it that Pickwick be part and parcel of the highest local competition?
Well, we can't overemphasize that, because when we look at the club, we have the Hope brothers in Shea, the present West Indies white ball captain, and Kyle, West Indies player. I don't want to say former, because he's still young enough, I believe, that he might make the team. And we also have Haley Matthews, so we can boast of two West Indian captains here at Pickwick.
So just to bring us up to date with the cricket in the middle, Travelers 12 without loss. We are into the second over. One delivery left now in the second over. Thomas Harris on 7. And Wesley Straker not yet off The mark is actually at the end of over number 2, 11 without loss. We're going to make Kirk do some work, and I'll be back with you, Ian. Don't you move. So an aircraft takes off from the Grantley Adams International Airport, making its way somewhere in the far regions north of the island. And Ian Drake's taking up the bowling. We've got a game on our hands here. The veterans so far unbeaten, but with something of a challenge, only having made only 102. A comeback for a second run. The return is a direct strike by the fielder Collymore, but Straker wins the verdict into his ground quite comfortably as they went for a second run. A wide is the signal by umpire Marshall. So 3 runs to the total of the Travelers, 14 without loss. A rather strong looking batting lineup here for the Travelers. Remaining in the hut, the likes of Captain Owen Birch, Wilbur Bruce, Adrian Brathwaite. Short, pulled away straight to the man on the 45 at short fine leg. So not making use of a rather loose delivery there, Straker. He's on 1, the total 14 without loss. This is the Amaas over 50s Masters T20 cricket tournament 2024. And Drakes is bringing Straker onto the front foot. Pushes it defensively back along the pitch. There is no run. A slip in place. Backward point cover mid-off. And looking to help this one onto the onside. The ball is striking the keeper down the leg side. And a wide conceded. So 1 more to the extras. Total goes up to 16. Well, 2 to the total, as a matter of fact, because the batters did cross for 1. So 16 without loss. Ian Drake's bowling left arm slow. I was tempted to say left arm spin, but from what I've been able to see, I've not seen any revs really imparted on the ball. Struck away over the infield on the outside. Ball pulls up. Batsmen come back for 2. 2 more to Harris. 2 more to the Travelers. 18 without loss. Already some 8 extras included in that total of 18. We were talking to the president of the Pickwick Club, the home club here at the Foursquare Oval. Short delivery, put away. Down the slope it goes. Much too short. Outside the leg stump. And Harris doesn't miss out on the sumptuous offering. Pulls it away for 4. His second boundary in the innings. And the Travelers move into the 20s. It's 22 without loss. We still got another delivery left in the 3rd over. Remember, the target 103. Veterans all out in 19 overs for 102. Having been invited to bat. So getting the radar quite wrong there. Drakes, you want to correct his error. outside the all stump, chopped away through the vacant gully area. At least a couple of runs here to be had. As Harris comes through, Straker just takes a gentle stroll back along the pitch to complete the second of the 2 runs. The over comes to an end, and after 3 overs, Travelers 24 without loss. So the off spin of Anthony Morris as a striker looks for a drive, plays quite late to that delivery outside the off stump. Gets it right rather stylishly. Just choked out to the man there at short extra cover. Need to get some wickets, make early inroads into this Travelers batting with only 102 runs to defend. Morris is beating his man, and he's been given by this on umpire. Interestingly, the bail is on the ground. The discussion I would like to believe is whether the batter was actually bowled or if the ball would have ricocheted from the pads of the keeper. What I can also tell you is if the latter was the case, Ian, then he would still be out stumped, but then the on umpire would not be giving him out. So I'm taking it for granted that the umpire, the standing umpire, would have given the decision, which means that we have to take it for granted that he's being bowled.
Yeah, they're good teammates as well.
Straker goes first wicket down for the Travelers for 1, 24 for 1. Captain Owen Birch, the man to fill the breach. So Owen Birch, the captain of the Travelers, a prolific scorer in this competition over the years, comes at number 3. Again, we're speaking with Ian Brown, the president of the Pickwick Club, the home club here at the Foursquare Oval. Ian, you have, as you said, as we all know, made it back to the elite division. Special methods of preparation, areas of recruitment of new players. What would the club have in mind going into 2024?
Well, I believe it's still early days yet, but I know that Coach Corey has been having some chats with some youngsters. I've seen a couple of other youngsters around the club, and I believe that we will be pretty much ready for the start of the new season and to give a good account of ourselves. I'm pretty sure we'll do that.
So how early are you thinking of starting your preparations for the 2024 season?
Well, like I said, I've seen some guys in the cage because we have some practice facilities here, and I've seen some youngsters there. Um, Corey, we believe that by the middle of next month for sure that things will be in position for us to look more seriously at what we have. But that is as much as I can say right now without having discussions with Corey.
Well, you've got a fairly vibrant youth academy program happening here at Pickwick, one of the clubs who have embarked in that particular area. I think that, how has that investment been paying off for you?
Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag here, if you want to put it that way, in that.
Change of bowler at the northern end. Emerson Jordan takes over the bowling from Ian Drakes, and his first delivery is short. A couple picked up here by Harris.
Yeah, like I was saying, we would have been fortunate to have at least 5 or 6 youngsters into the Barbados on the 15 team for the last 2 years. We are also the current defending champions of the under 13 program as well.
Jordan pitched up this time. Ball played into the hands of the man at short mid-wicket. Is that Warren taking the catch? It is Winston Warren taking the catch. I had my doubts as to whether the ball was hit straight or whether it had gone into the ground, but certainly the batter, Harris, having no problems, immediately making his way to the pavilion as soon as that catch was taken. Pitched up by Jordan, looking to work it into the onside, not managing to keep it on the turf, straight into the hands of Warren, who took a sharp catch. And now the Travelers go 2 down. It's 26 for 2. Jordan with the first delivery to Lane. Onto the front foot he comes. Looking very much in control of that first stroke, Lane. A dot ball. So yes, Ian, I'm not going to prolong the agony much longer. You just ask you. As you mentioned, the new president at Pickwick, how has it been, though, taking up the helm of such a famous and prestigious club?
It has been a bit of a challenge, to be honest, but at the same time, I would say that I've been welcomed as a relatively new member of the club. I've been welcomed by the members here, and they've pledged their support, and so far I've been enjoying it to some extent.
Turned away to that man Warren there at that short mid-wicket position, where he took the catch to dismiss Harris. This time the ball all around the ground. There's no run. There's been a lot of concern about clubs and club life and the strength of the club system in Barbados. What has your experience been since taking up the position here?
Actually, to the credit of our guys, I've seen an improvement because we know that club life and cricket around Barbados is not what it was when we were youngsters. But here, I can say that certainly our elite team, the guys have gelled like a family. I can see them hanging around the club at the end of the day's play.
Jordan is just on the off stump, and Birch is just walking into a defensive shot, pushes it away into the outside. The end of a successful over from Emerson Jordan. It cost him just the 3 runs, but the Travelers now 27 for 2 with 5 overs bowled. So Lane to take strike. So Lane paying some attention to the surface in front of him. He's groping outside the off stump to one from Morris, the famous Morris arm ball. Getting that one to pitch and hold its own outside the off stump. Morris challenging both edges of the bat. Getting a lot closer to the pitch of that delivery that time. Getting some bat on it. Again, long forward. No intent of scoring these last 2 deliveries from Lane. This time he's just tickling this one into the gap on the onside, and coming through for the one will retain the strike at the end of the 6th over. Morris getting through that one rather quickly, and that is the end of the power play. 6 overs, 28 for 2. So yes, Ian Brown, president of the Pickwick Club, welcoming your first involvement here with the Amaas Masters over 50s competition. How did this arrangement come about?
Well, I would say that Morris, Anthony, and I say we have a very good relationship because remember Anthony's son is one of the key players here with us, former West Indies under 19 cricketer, and he's been here. And we, as two clubs, we tend to share not only facilities but other social events as well. And when Anthony broached the subject of having a couple of games here, I readily accepted it, and the club members accepted it. If I may say too that Anthony, to some extent, may be like a quiet unsung hero as far as sports is concerned, because he would have been instrumental in not only this competition but having other competitions around. Right?
Jordan again. Striking the batter on the low on the pad with a Yorker length delivery. Coming through for that single. A leg by. Adds one to the total for the Travelers.
Yes, as I was saying, I believe that Anthony deserves a lot of credit, not only locally but certainly from the national point of view, because he would have been instrumental in bringing some teams here, and along with the sports tourism model that we're supposed to be having around Barbados, this is some recognition I believe that should be afforded to him.
Yes, we recognize the holding of a couple of international tournaments here last year, and a number of the matches actually taking place. There was the over 60s Masters.
We had a few games here as well.
And the Pickwick very much involved. So the membership of the Pickwick Club, though, you talk about the youngsters. Here we are seeing the Masters in place. What is the general demographic of the club, though? You still have a lot of the older members still involved at the club?
Yeah, we still have a few of the older guys there, mainly in the second division and in the over 40s competition.
So Jordan clipped into the onside by Birch. They go for one. They're going to come back for the second. Good movement between the pair. Very swift movers between the wickets, Birch and Lane. The fielder having to come all the way from the boundary at long on. A run of about some 30 meters. The easily taken the second run.
Yeah, we would have had the Harris brothers, who was very much a part of this competition. Warren, who is actually in this game as well.
So you've got a number of your members who are active at the Masters level.
Yeah, quite.
Well, Ian here is wishing you and the club, as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you if you have any further parting words before you leave us.
Yes, I would just like to say thanks for the guys for coming out and supporting us here, and we look forward to our game next Saturday as well. And we'll be
hit hard down the ground, in and out of the hands of Ron Bates. Catching practice, but Bates not obliging. Lane looking to go over the top. The fielder 2/3 the way to the boundary at deep mid-off, and that one getting into both hands, but going at it with rather hard hands, I thought, and spilling the chance to get rid of Lane. A single, the result of that mischance and the next delivery. As we come to the end of the seventh over, is 36 for 2. Here is saying thank you to Ian Brown, the president of the Pickwick Club, wishing you and the Pickwick Club continued success and all the best for the tenure of your presidency, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Wayne. And yes, look out for us. We'll be back, and we'll be back with a bang for the elite competition. Thanks.
We look forward to seeing you in 2024. So we start the 8th over at 36 for 2. So Anthony Morris completing his full stint. 3 overs for 2 runs before this. Anthony Morris, how mean can you get? $36 for 2. Halfway in the 8th over. Gives a wide.
Wayne, while you were doing your interview, in the chat, you saw a message from a Reginald Millington, who says he's watching from New York. So, good evening to you, Reginald. Thanks for watching. And he says that Maloney, who is playing, I think, for Travelers, is his uncle. Small world.
Must be a St. George man then, because if I know Maloney, I met Maloney over in the Roach Village area. So thankful too for Mr. Millington for taking the time out not only to view the coverage but also to actually respond and comment in the related chat.
That's greatly appreciated. He also says, I don't think you'll like his next comment though. He says that he believes that West Indies will lose the next game, but will gain tremendous confidence and experience. We'll hear you on that after the DJ.
The Snow Cone lady is in town. Beautiful. So just one quick word to the audience here. Speak quickly.
Blessed good afternoon to all. Snow Cone ladies here. My flavors are coconut, blue, red, orange, pineapple, lemon lime, grape, tar, brain milk, and alcohol. I have cut sizes at 3, 4, or 5. So when you're ready, I'm right here.
So if you want to cool the tubes on this hot afternoon, the Snow Cone lady in the car park. But let's, Philip, get back to this sweet cricket. We talk about sweet snow cones. Let's talk about sweet cricket.
Well, we can talk about sweet cricket, but I think not only those who are here watching, but those who are nearby may want to come over to the Foursquare Oval to meet the Snow Cone lady and cool down. Yeah. I don't think our friend Reginald Millington in New York would need a snow cone at this point in time because when last I checked, I think it's still pretty cold out there.
Well, so we've been hearing. But yes, Mr. Millington making the point that he believes we're saying. I don't dispute what he said in any way. I'm 100% in agreement with him.
I'm not so sure about the confidence. The experience, yes. But of course, if they gain experience and then the next time we go to Australia, we take a different set of guys, I don't know how much useful that experience would be. But yes, they'll gain experience. I'm not so sure about the confidence, though. How losing is going to help them to get confidence.
I was more attuned to the point that USCs will get beaten.
Oh, well, look, that's the most likely result. Given if you want to be passionate about cricket and emotional and all that sort of thing and whatever, then you can say whatever you want. If you're supporters, obviously you want to be positive. But if you're looking at the thing in a balanced way, then the only logical outcome one could expect based on the evidence is that lose. Well, yes, but this is a game of cricket, the game of glorious uncertainty. Well, so yes, I never rule out the unexpected. But yes, if I had to to make a prediction, that would be the only logical prediction based on what we've seen and what we've been seeing so far.
Well, some runs here for the Travelers as a new bowler introduced at the northern end, Carlton Cullimore, coming to the end of his first over. The Travelers up now to 44 for 2. Remember the target, 103. One delivery left in over number 9. Birch 11, Lane on 3. Another catch taken at that short mid-wicket position. Cullimore into the pads, whipped away by Birch in the air, and Emerson Jordan hanging on to the catch. That's a big strike by Cullimore and the veterans, getting rid of Owen Birch. Caught by Jordan for 11. Travelers now 44 for 3. They require another 59 runs to win. So the veterans making a fine fist of defending a rather modest total, 102 all out. But with the Travelers now 44 for 3, the first 3 in the lineup gone. The game is very much on, as it is Wilbur Bruce, the next batter in for the Travelers. He won't be facing up though, because that was the final delivery of that over. As is going to be Brian Johnson, a new bowler introduced at the southern end, replacing Anthony Morris. I think the exceptional figures of Anthony Morris should be noted and acknowledged. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 4 runs, and 1 wicket. Brian Johnson with some big boots to fill. Goes for a single off his first delivery. But yes, Philip, I guess from a cricketing perspective, the result would be anticipated. As a supporter of West Indies, and sentimentally, you would want for this form book to be upset somewhat. I always held the view, though, that anything less than a 2-0 defeat would have been a victory for West Indies.
Well, fair enough. When the world got a bit smaller since we last talked about our newfound friend Reginald Millington in New York, he says that, he heard you mention the name Cullimore just now, I'm sure, and he says that he played with Carlton Cullimore in the American League as well. So the world is even smaller than we thought.
Well, I'm getting smaller by the day. Actually, Carlton Cullimore is a long time buddy of mine. We go back to primary school days. Mm-hmm. And that we were not going to how long ago that was.
But it was a while. Yeah.
It was quite a while back though.
But long enough that at least you can still remember.
But yes, we remember. We played a lot of cricket together too.
Uh-huh. So if you went to school with him and he's still playing, why are you sitting here next to me?
Well, it's a matter of choice. I am not prepared to put up with all the pain that is involved in playing cricket at this tender age.
Okay. No
As
pain,
a matter
no
of fact,
gain,
I admire these guys tremendously for sticking with it.
And you admire them, from beyond the boundary.
Yeah, I like to talk about cricket now.
I certainly can't blame you. As the score goes up to
47 for 3. But yes, and that discussion about the West Indies, Philip, when I saw, let me put it this way, when I saw the team released, I have known the Honorable Desmond Haynes. I've even known him before I had even met him. Long time ago in the 70s, I knew of Joe Louis playing cricket in the Holdersville, Haynesville area. I've never known him to be a swiper. He's an aggressive stroke player at points until he made that transformation as a supporter to Gordon Greenwich in that famous and outstanding opening partnership. But when I saw that team that was named for Australia, I tell myself, this is the first time I've seen Desmond Haynes swipe. And a swipe, my description is you just swing the bat as well as I hope to connect. And what I saw in that side selected, it was a hope that something would have connected, that something good would have come out of it.
Well, I'm going to have to give you some lessons in diplomacy. You may recall I said I have no problem with introducing new players, but then I put some conditions on it, and I said sometimes when you expose, you actually really expose. So that was just my diplomatic way of saying the same thing you just said.
But then I put it in cricket terms. In cricket terms, is a swipe. Mind you, I can also appreciate the thinking behind some of the actions.
Well, it's good to know there was thinking, but the music man is ready first. No, he's not. He's enjoying the discussion, apparently. I
So
think
that
he wants to refresh himself.
So that what I thought might have been the thinking as we go into the refreshment break here after 10 overs, the Travelers are 47 for 3. Remember, the veterans dismissed in 19 overs for 102. And with 103 for victory, the Travelers have lost Thomas Harris for 17, Wesley Straker for 1, and Owen Birch for 11. Not out at the moment, Leon Lane on 5, Wilbur Bruce on 1, and to come Adrian Brathwaite, Ronnie Gittins, Cleveland Grant, Randolph Maloney, Gavin Beresford, and Shem Springer, no doubt not in that particular order. And bowling for the veterans, Ian Drakes, 2 overs for 20 runs. Anthony Morris, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 4 runs, 1 wicket. Emerson Jordan, 2 overs, 10 runs, and a wicket. Carlton Cullen, 1 over for 6 runs, and he got a wicket. And Brian Johnson, 1 over for 3 runs. That brings us up to date.
Yeah, so it's 103 to win? That's
103 is the target to win.
Well, you were making a point quickly before you forget.
Well, yes, as I was saying, the thinking that I read was that the so-called players that we talk about as very experienced would have had numerous opportunities with very little success as a team. West Indies as a test team really had gone nowhere over the last couple of years, at least nowhere forward. So that the thinking, I believe, would have been that you can't get worse. If you try a new set of players, the worst you can get is the same result.
What was the last series before South Africa?
Well, answer the question.
Well, no, I'm not going to answer it. I'm giving you something to think about. No, this is a response. You were saying that they weren't going anywhere. It was pretty much in response to that. I don't know if that's exactly a fair comment.
Well, but a number of the players involved.
We're not dominating. But you don't dominate by hoping to dominate or by changing players. You see, in fact, you don't even have to answer the question I asked. If this is a response or an effort to change your fortunes, it's not going to work. You don't change fortunes by just by changing players when the players that you are bringing in for the other ones are not better. I've been saying this over and over again. It's the program that you've got to look at. And, I think you know already that favorite term of mine, high performance program. And, I may not be able to explain that right now because we've got a game here to cover. But pretty much it means that you've got to work on your development plan for your cricketers. And if you just swap players of similar ability, you're going to get the similar results.
But my idea was that the selectors would have known. I could not have expected an immediate turnaround in the fortunes.
But what would cause these players to be better than the previous set? What have they experienced or been exposed to that would make them better than the other guys?
The other guys have had their chances.
But the other guys didn't do well because they weren't properly prepared. They weren't properly they weren't properly dealt with. Because you don't just put guys out there because they've been coached and they've had success to get to that level. It's a constant job of adjusting and readjusting. The way cricket is now, right now there's a guy in New York watching. Well, I say a guy. Obviously, there are many people, but I'm using the example of Reginald Millington. He's in New York watching cricket here at Foursquare Oval. I think you do know that in the days of Sagari, for example, that didn't happen.
He would not have been able to.
Right. So therefore, and as we come forward, the media progressively improved, if you will, so that now there's nothing that's a secret. A guy who has never played cricket anywhere other than Queen's Park or Weymouth, if he somehow finds himself in Australia, before he gets there, they know how to bowl at him. So it means that there have to be constant adjustments, and that's why I talk about high performance. You don't take an athlete, let's say in track and field, because they've done well, you put them, let's say in international competition, they run a particular time. If you don't keep working at them and tweaking them, they're going to fade away. So this is the thing with the cricket. It's not just a matter of picking people because they've scored some runs, putting them in a team and hoping for the best. Those days are gone.
Well, I was not here to defend the selectors in the first place, Philip. I was just trying to read what they may have been thinking, what would have been
You're suggesting that there was thought going into it, but go ahead.
Well, yes, and the thought being that we're going to try new players. The score is 49 for 3 at the end of over number 11. 49. Suggesting that we speak to his son and the other boy, Rashid Edwin, 2 8 players. At some point during this broadcast. He's one of the players. He's one of the players. He's the players. So, Philip, as we start the 12th over, 54 runs the target, 9 overs remaining, which is equivalent to 54 balls. So it's down to a run a ball at this midway stage of the innings. And Brian Johnson continuing from the southern end. He's bowling to Wilbur Bruce. Bruce on 2. Lane has been there, is on 6. So the game still very much in the balance as Johnson with his loopy off spin turns this one away behind square as Bruce and takes off for a non-existent single. And left in the middle of the pitch. No chance of a return. Simple task for Ron Bates to pick the ball up, lob it back to the keeper, Pedro Agard, and Bruce run out by a long, long way. The Travelers are traveling, but they are traveling backwards. 49 for 4 becomes 49 for 5. Bruce gone for 2. So Wilbur Bruce replaced by 2. The new batter actually is Adrian Brathwaite, and he's brought with him a runner. Did suffer an injury in the field, Brathwaite, taking an excellent catch in the deep. So he now comes to the wicket with a total 49 for 4 in the 12th over. And goes rocking back onto the good leg. It looks as if the left leg is the good one. The right leg is the problem. Let's see again. Pushes it into the outside. And the third player involved, Straker, goes through for a single. So this could be some fun. So that brings up the 50 for the Travelers. 50 in the 12th over of some 76 deliveries. And they've only struck 2 boundaries so far. So it has been slow, easy going. So exactly 12 overs to bring up the 50. 50 for 4. Still requiring another 53 runs. Now the runs exceed the balls remaining. 8 overs, 48 balls. Lane still there. And Cullimore to continue. Cullimore 2 overs, 1 wicket for 8 runs. Let's see the field that he's going to employ. I can tell you his boundary riders, the long off, the long on, deep mid wicket, those 3. The others all within the restrictive circle. A backward point, deepish cover, but a deep point, deep cover, short extra cover. And there's that short mid wicket and a man behind square to the right of the umpire. Cullimore, right arm over the wicket, is seeing Brathwaite driving up to Lafond. They're at the edge of the circle at extra cover. And coming through for 1. So Straker takes his position as the runner. The non-strikers end, Lane back in strike. And Cullimore is again pitching up, hit hard into the pitch, bouncing away to the left of the bowler, knocked down. No run. So right now the veterans are very much ahead in the game, but that can change quite swiftly. As Cullimore is outside the awesome onto the back foot. I think that one coming off the under edge into the pad. But Cullimore very much the type of bowler who tends to bowl the ball into the pitch quite a lot. Driven, that one was floated up outside the yard stump, and that is what Lane would have been waiting for. Right into his area and drilling it over the head of the extra cover fielder. And down to the boundary it went for 4. Actually just the 3rd boundary of the innings. Into double figures goes Lane. He's 10. The Travelers are 55 for 4, bringing the requirement below the 50 mark. Cullimore is pitching up again, driven down the ground. They go for 1. Ball stick from long on comes around to his left. Can't prevent the second run. Two more to Lane. So showing a bit of urgency here. Required rate now 6.42 runs per over for the Travelers. So nothing out of hand as this delivery outside the awesome. Chop down behind square straight to the fielder. A loud bellow of no from the batter as Johnson fields cleanly. Cullimore's 3rd over comes to an end. And at the end of it, over number 13, the Travelers are 57 for 4.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
So Brian Johnson to continue. 7 sixes, 42 balls, 46 runs. So one more to Brathwaite. He makes his way out to square leg to stand next to umpire Marshall. Lane comes back on strike. It's 58 for 4, 45 runs required. So some 4 men in the deep, 2 on the off, deep mid wicket and long on, 2 on the off, long off and sweeper at deep cover. Johnson brings Lane forward. A dot ball. Can't afford a lot of them, the Travelers. But then there is push back along the pitch. There's also the concept of taking the chase deep. I think one coined and made famous by one MS Dhoni. So Lane may be thinking along those lines. Johnson is short outside the leg stump, looking to pull this one away in that vacant area, the deep square area, and gets a run. So he did make some contact there with the bat. It was a leg bite. So the leg bite actually signaled. So one more to the extras. They go to 13. The total 59 and now for 4. Brathwaite can do no more than just pat this good delivery into the offside. So again, the dots continue to mount up. We had Anthony Morris bowling as many as 21 dot balls in a 4-over spell. So Johnson's third over comes to an end. His figures make very good reading, at least to him. 3 overs for 5 runs. And at the end of 14, it is 59 for 4.
It's totally impossible for a man who has not knowing that everything will right. I should know you read the man's fantasy. What can you do to stop a man from trying? I said I won't know to stop a man from trying.
So with Emerson Jordan being reintroduced into the attack, the equation reads 44 to win. 36 legal balls remaining. So I think that puts the fielding side, in my estimation, slightly ahead. The changes in the field we've got. It's always interesting to see where the boundary fielders are placed. Jordan will continue from the northern or pavilion end here at the Foursquare Oval. This one goes high. Chance for a catch. Bostic settles and takes the catch. Very well judged. Lynn trying to break free of the shackles. He got a lot of elevation, but he didn't get distance. Pays the price, caught by Bostic. A wicket to Jordan. Lane gone for 12. It's now 59 for 5. Gavin Beresford, the next man in. He's been known to give a cricket ball a good clout. So Jordan getting his field in place. Lots of protection in the deep on the onside. And he goes right up into the toes. Long on. Deep mid-wicket. 1. Deep mid-wicket bordering cow corner. 2 deep mid-wickets. That man at short mid-wicket where 2 catches have been taken so far. A man backward of square. That's the leg side field. Jordan is again right up into the block hole. This time, Beresford is managing to stroke it back along the crease, evading the grasp of the bowler, and gets a single, gets off the mark. Some adjustment made to the field now. One of those leg side boundary riders goes over to the offside at long off. Deep extra cover, 2/3 the way to the boundary and the long off. Long on, deep mid-wicket. Brathwaite has a look around the field. Jordan is in, outside the off stump, looking to slash this one away square. Not getting close enough to the ball. Ball going past the edge into the gloves of the keeper. Tucked away behind square. This is going to go close to the boundary. It goes across the rope. No. For 4. Brathwaite using the pace of the bowler there. Jordan going into the pitch. But this one angling in towards the hip. And just going with the flow, Adrian Brathwaite. Clipping it away behind square. No fielder in attendance in the deep. There's a man at backward square. Once it goes past him, it's all the way out to the boundary. So Adrian Brathwaite, injury and all, carrying the fight for the Travelers. 64 for 5, 39 more runs required. Slower delivery. $64 for 5 at the end of over number 15. So 5 overs, 30 balls left. The requirement is 39 runs, and that required run rate begins to push northwards. Looks for the drive, struck on the pad. The appeal goes up, so does the finger of umpire Millington. And Beresford, instead of looking for a sharp single, is going to have to look for the dressing room.
When Wish we were alone, please. Just the two of us. Yes, every move you make gives me a rush. Whoa, oh. Wine some more, show me that love. Unconditional give. Make believe we are alone. Just you and me. Ain't the prophets living life. Don't let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good because your perfume isn't blind. It only has to talk about.
So we're down to the bowlers. Ronnie Gittins comes to the middle. And Johnson's first delivery is outside the awesome. Gittins having a swing. Left-handed batter, Ronnie Gittins. Most right-arm medium pace. I'm joined by a young cricketer. Driven in the ears. Just tipping the fingers of Brian Johnson there at short extra cover. But that one hit with some power. It's Carlton Cullimore there at short cover. I suspect that he would rather that ball not make contact with his hands. 2 runs picked up by Gittins. Antonio Morris, a member of that victorious Pickwick First Division team that captured the First Division title domestically this season and will now campaign in the Elite Division come 2024, this coming season. Dot ball, so congratulations. Welcome to the Anything Cricket Let's Talk microphone, Antonia. Congratulations to you and the Pickwick side. I think this is a very important step for you. How important a step is this for you personally and for the team, the Pickwick team, the making it back to the Elite Division?
Thanks. I'm glad to be here again. And it's good that we could win the championship again this season and get into the Elite Division, because playing in the First Division we wasn't getting as much exposure as we would have liked. So going into the Elite Division this season gives us a chance to showcase our talent and expose new players towards the BCA selection panel.
You said the word exposure. You're suggesting then that there's a disadvantage not being, as far as selection for national teams is concerned, that there's a disadvantage not being in the Elite Division?
Slightly. The Elite Division mainly gets most of the exposure. A lot of people focuses mainly on that. But the First Division doesn't really get as much as the Elite Division, so it's better for younger players that want to make a name for themselves to play the Elite Division.
I believe that you would have played at the elite level before playing for the Barbados youth teams and also playing at the University of the West Indies. You didn't play for elite, but you did play for the Barbados youth for sure.
Youth, not
right.
UE.
So what's the difference? Is there a recognizable difference in the standard of play?
Yeah, there's a bit of a difference because there's more players that played first-class cricket and played higher levels of cricket for Barbados and the West Indies, so playing against them is a different standard compared to the First Division level, where there is not as much of the higher level players.
So there's somewhat of an achievement. You have also played with some international players, I think the likes of the Hope brothers, for instance. And What is the difference when, let's say, for instance, a Shea Hope comes back to play as against when he is not there?
Um, it, he brings a lot of knowledge towards the guys in the club, especially those who haven't been to a higher level. It's always glad to watch him and see the class that he shows at this level compared to the senior level.
Right, and the 2023 season, for you personally, how did it go for you? How satisfied are you with your performance in 2023?
Um, I was satisfied with my 3-day season. Not really the white ball, but mainly the red ball season. It was a slight improvement in all formats, but I would like to do a lot better in the 50 over and the T20, especially for Pitwit. But the 3-day season wasn't bad as I averaged 58 at the end of the season with 393 runs from like 7 innings.
So, any specific targets going into 2024 for yourself?
Just to keep improving, I usually take my stats down in the notebook for each season. So I just try to improve on them as each year progresses.
You mentioned white ball and you also mentioned red ball. Is there any difference in the way you prepare for the different formats?
Yeah, slightly because I play more expansive shots in the white ball format compared to the 3-day where I take less risks. But overall, the basics are still the same in terms of my plan towards batting.
Well, of course, you would have had the experience of playing at the highest youth level, playing for West Indies at the under 19 in World Cup, at the level of World Cup. Have you been following what has been happening in this present Youth World Cup going on in South Africa?
Yeah, I watched a bit of the first game that West Indies played yesterday, and saw a good set of talent, and I was impressed. I was impressed by a lot of the guys that I saw playing for the West Indies, especially some of them that I don't know.
Well, of course, we saw that century by Joel Andrew. Quite authoritative knocker, fantastic innings, I thought. In adversity with the team struggling at 70 odd for 5, and he exuded a kind of confidence that almost unexpectedly. But do you know a lot about him? You know anything of him before?
No, that's the first time I actually watched him play cricket.
And of course, our own Nathan Seeley had a very good all-round game. I think his run-out was quite crucial. I think that may very well have been the game changer, Seeley's run-out.
Yeah, it's true. Seeley and Joel Andrew would have been the main batters there at that stage for the West Indies to get close to the target.
But playing at the Youth World Cup level where, like they say, the stars are born, what was particularly special about it when you would have played?
Just experiencing something new and being able to represent the West Indies, not even at the senior level, but on the 19 level, was just a major achievement for me. And it was a proud moment, and I would like to be able to do it again at the senior level.
I'm sure this has given you the appetite to go even further. Of course, that would start with getting into the national team and going on to the international level.
Yeah, correct.
So this season is going to be fairly crucial. Your background, though, you are very much associated with the BNOC club because of your dad's involvement naturally. And I recall from a very young age, you would have been playing what we call big man cricket from a very young age. Playing probably, I can't recall if you did play BCL. You did play BCL cricket and also in the lower divisions. How important has that been to your development, playing among older players at a very young stage?
It was very important for my development, especially from young, being around the older guys at the club that played in the higher levels in Barbados in their times. It was always good to learn from them off of the field and even watching them while they were playing. And then again, when I first went into secondary school, I didn't play for the school team in the second division. I played for BNOC in the BCL tournament. So it was always good to play against older fellas. So when I go back to the school, it gave me that confidence to play against the school boys. And then I took that forward in terms of playing for the first division for my first time for foundation. I had that experience playing against older guys, so I handled it quite well.
Well, we look forward to seeing much more of you this coming season at the elite level where there will be that much more exposure. Any specific plans about how you plan to prepare as against anything you would have done before?
Just trying to work on my fitness, be a lot more fitter for the season. Also work on more options in terms of batting, so we'll have more areas to score and bowlers wouldn't be on top of me as much. And also handling the pressure more for my team and being able to bring home games for Pitwick as much as possible.
You spent a lot of time around this tournament, the over 50s Masters. You don't see a lot of people of your vintage around these games. What would you suggest to the younger players that they can learn from coming out and taking in some of this competition or competition similar to it?
It's always good for the youngsters to come out and watch this cricket because these are guys that have a lot of experience. So just learning and watching the style of cricket that they play is always important for us and can help with our development.
Well, again, Antonio, thank you so much. And as I said, wishing you the best of luck in 2024 and beyond.
Thanks for
Thanks
having
again.
me again.
Thanks to you, and also that wishes also for your club, the Pickwick Club.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Antonio Morris, former West Indies under-19 player of recent vintage and a member of the Division 1 winning club in local competition, and now elevated or re-promoted to the elite division for the 2024 season. As we come right back to the game at hand, we are now down to a situation of 3 overs left. 28 runs are required. The Travelers 75 for 7 at the end of 17. Shem Springer is there on 5. He's the latest batter to come to the wicket. Adrian Brathwaite with an injury and batting with a runner is there on 10. So it is 28 runs from 18 balls, 3 wickets left, a required rate of 9.33 runs per over. Who will it be? The Travelers looking for a hero. The veterans just looking to maintain control. Kirk, take it away. So 28 from 18 as Ian Drakes comes back into the attack. 2 overs for 20 runs before this. Brian Johnson, 4 overs, 8 runs, 1 wicket. Carlton Cullimore, 4 overs, 2 wickets for 23. Have both completed their allotments. A leg by to start the 18th over off. 27 from 17 balls. Adrian Brathwaite comes back on strike. Drake's bowling is slow left arm stuff, running between the umpire and the stumps along the wicket. Brathwaite goes back, chops it away to the right of the man there at short third, having a dive, not getting a hand to it. That's Emerson Jordan, and they're going to come for the 3rd run. Shem Springer dragging Straker through those 3 runs. But fortunately, or importantly, Springer coming to the danger end. And the 3 runs picked up. Brathwaite goes to 13. Is 79 for 7. 24 runs required from 16 balls. Swinging away, ball off the bottom of the bat up to mid-wicket. The scramble a single. Every run now is going to be important. The runner is Straker. Brathwaite the batter. 80 for 7. 23 from 15. Drake Brathwaite chopped into the offside. They go for a single. Bates fields cleanly, but not being able to get rid of the ball. So 1 more to the total. Again, the Travelers looking to carry it deep. Straker looking like if he could use a runner at the non-striker's end. Try coming through for a single. Proving me wrong, Straker. Forcing that run. Pulling Springer through. So 1 more to the total. 82 for 7. 21 from 13. Tickled away in the onside. They go for 1. There's a second run on here for sure. If Straker was able to come back. But importantly, I think that may have been a deliberate action there on the part of the batting pair, because what it does, having taken just a single, it leaves Brathwaite on strike, and he has been the more proactive of the two. Of course, he would have come a lot earlier, the more accomplished player, Adrian Brathwaite. So may very well be a tactical move on the part of the batting side. We've come to the end of over number 18. It's 83 for 7. As the late, great Ling Pong will say, last 2. 2 more overs to go. 12 balls to get 20 is the task of the Travelers 11. Veterans would want to keep them below that. Emerson Jordan to bowl the penultimate over. Bowls to Brathwaite. Goes high out towards cover. That ball is going to land safely, and the batters are going to come back for 2. High in the air, but not close enough to any fielder to make a catch of it. So throwing caution to the wind there, Adrian Brathwaite, getting away with it. The luck going with him that time. 18 from 11. 85 for 7. Brathwaite on 17. Swung away again. A chance for a catch. Johnson comes in. Puts it down on the turf. They're going to come back for the second run. They get it. Four coming out of the first two balls of the 19th over. 87 for 7. 16 runs required from 10 balls. Good effort by Johnson. He got to it, but it was very low to the ground. Got it in his hands, but was unable to hold on as he hit the turf. Spilling a chance. Jordan again to Brathwaite. Outside the all-stump. Steered away behind point. Down to short third. They're going to come back for the second on the throw of run base. Diving effort by Straker as the stumps are broken. It looks like he made it into his ground, but is he going to make it from off the ground? So I will have to ask one of the umpires here, if the runner gets injured, can he get a runner? So can you have a replacement? Nonetheless, 14 runs required from 9 balls. Brathwaite importantly remains on strike. Full toss, hit down too long on. Bossett comes in, doesn't field it cleanly. They're going to come back for another 2. Under pressure, the fielder coming in and around to his left and bubble the ball, making that second run a lot less risky. 12 runs required from 10 balls. 8 balls, in fact. 8 balls for 12 runs. 91 for 7, batted up to 23. Jordan in his final over. Hit away, high, over deep, backward square. Morris goes in pursuit. He's going to pick it up and return to the keeper. In the meantime, another couple are had. 10 runs required from 7 balls. Tanti Merle is making her way across from the Hopefield plantation. Somebody said Tanti Merle on the field now. She named Straker. Jordan. Outside the awesome swing and miss, appeal for a catch. Only Jordan, no support from his keeper. That's the end of over number 19. The total, 93 for 7. The equation, 10 runs required from the last over.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
I suggest you stay in your seat and don't blink. This one is going down to the wire. 10 runs required from the final over. Ian Drake's the man to send down this final over. Shem Springer, who is on 7, who has added some 23 for this wicket with Adrian Brathwaite, will be on strike. Brathwaite at the non-striker's end on 25. Well, in fact, Straker, his runner at the non-striker's end. Brathwaite standing by the square leg umpire. He's batting with a runner because of an injury he picked up while in the field when the veterans batted. And this match has come right down to this. Very meticulous in placing his field, making sure he gets the right fielders in the correct positions that he wants them. And let's take a look at his field. He's got a man back with a point. He's got a deep point. He's got a square cover. He's got an extra cover, a long off, a long on, a short mid-wicket, a deep mid-wicket, and a man deep at square leg just behind square. So Drake's left arm over the wicket this time, and a swing and a miss by Springer. So it's 10 runs now from 5 balls. Balls a full toss. Head up towards extra cover. They go for a sharp single. The return misses the stumps at the non-striker's end. And Brathwaite now holds the life of the Travelers 11 on his shoulders. Batting in pain. Batting with a handicap. Who will be the hero? Will it be Brathwaite? Will it be Drake's? 9 runs required from 4 balls. No change in the field. Drake's bowling from the southern end of the ground would want to have Brathwaite, I believe, hitting into the wind on the eastern side of the ground. Brathwaite about to settle. And Drake's is in. In but doesn't bowl. Better gamesmanship here. Ian Drake's fierce competitor. Pitches up, driven, square. Straight to that man, Bostic, at just behind point. And a single will make the veterans quite happy because it doesn't threaten the requirement. And then very important, Brathwaite goes off strike. So just 2 runs from the over so far from 3 balls. And the Travelers, they're going to need a boundary. At least 1 boundary. So Springer the man to face up to Drake's. Drake's has been bowling around the wicket. He's chosen to come over the wicket in this final over. Changing his angle. And bowls this one into the pitch. Turned away into the onside. They go for 1. Are they going to come back for the second? Yes, they will. Lafon comes all the way from deep backward square. Eventually doesn't pick up cleanly, but he would not have been able to save or prevent that second run. So, 97 for 7. 2 balls left. 6 runs required. Still anybody's game. Drakes holds the veteran's fate in his hand, his left arm. Springer can be the decider for the Travelers. Here we go. Fifth delivery, swinging outside the all stump. Only wind making contact with some uncertainty out in the middle. I think what has been determined is that the batsman Springer is out. The bail having been removed, I believe, by keeper Agard, and Springer adjudged as being out of his crease. It comes down to the final delivery. The Travelers 97 for 8. Springer stumped Agard off Drakes for 10. And unfortunately, Brathwaite will not be able to get back on strike. Just the one delivery left. Cleveland Grant, the man going to the middle. And the Travelers are asking for a miracle. You got a song named Miracle, Kurt? The sun goes down. Final delivery. Skewed away to short, fine leg. The batters cross for 1. That is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. The veterans have defended their 102 and win by some 4 runs, having restricted the Travelers to 98 for 8 from their 20 overs. Adrian Brathwaite, in a valiant effort, not out on 26. Grant not out. No score since that last ball. The last run was a leg by. And the veterans will now add to the 2 victories they had previously. They now go to the head of the table on 12 points with 3 wins from 3 matches. The Travelers remain on 4. And again, we invite you to join us tomorrow at the Barbados National Oil Company ground, 2 p.m. Travelers, again, they will be taking on the Limers. So that has been it from the Amaas over 50s Masters T20 Cricket Competition 2024. Veterans winning the toss. Veterans invited to bat after Travelers won the toss. All out for 102. And in reply, the Travelers 98 for 8. The veterans getting home by as few as 1 strike. 4 runs the difference between these 2 teams. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Those are following us on the live stream via YouTube, and of course you here at the ground listening to us. Tomorrow again from the BNOC ground, the competition continues. Thank you and good night.